back to another episode of Yoga Anywhere. I'm so excited that you decided to join me for today's practice. And in today's practice, we're going to be doing a couple of exercises for the hips. So we're going to get right into it. So meet me on all fours for our first exercise. And as you come into all fours, stack wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Lift up your left leg as if you're a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And just start moving your hips around. So starting one direction and just doing rotations. We'll continue this way for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other direction. Just heating up the hip here, bringing some mobility to it before we move into any of the other exercises. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, just come back to neutral, see how you feel here. Let's do a couple rounds of cat-cow before we go on to the other side. So drop your belly, reach your hips and head, cow pose. Exhale, rounding down, arching through the spine, knee into cow pose. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Great, coming back to neutral and moving into the other side. So right leg up and start doing your hip circles one direction. Maybe noticing how this side feels compared to the other side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other direction. Keeping the hips nice and strong here, even if you're feeling some sensation. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really good. Coming back to neutral. Big toes together, knees about as wide as your mat, and sinking back into a child's pose. Taking a nice deep inhale through your nose, sigh it out through your mouth. Really good. Maybe swaying side to side, just seeing how the hips feel. Really good. Now coming back up to neutral and sitting down onto your sit bones. And what we're going to do is we're going to start moving our hips in sort of another circular motion, but just in a different way. So grabbing your foot with one hand, your knee with the other, and just starting to do rocking motions from side to side and sort of around. Really good. And then if this feels pretty good here, and you want to go a little bit further, bring the bottom of your foot into your elbow crease, reach your other hand around, and start rocking your leg kind of like it's a little baby. It's bringing movement and space into your hip. Taking nice deep inhales and exhales. Really good. For 3, 2, 1. And releasing it down. Really good. Bringing both of your legs up, hands behind you, and just moving through some windshield wipers just to release out of the hips. Great job. And moving into the other side. So, other hand to your other foot, other hand to your other knee, and beginning to rock side to side with your other hand. All right, if this feels good, you can stay here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, bring your foot into the crease of your elbow, wrap your arm around, interlace your fingers, and start rocking side to side. I call it rocking the leg because it's kind of like rocking a baby, but it's just a heavy old leg. Really good. Nice deep inhales and exhales, not forgetting to breathe here. If you're feeling some sensation, it might be pretty easy to forget that breath, but just coming back to it. For 3, 2, and 1, releasing down. Really good. Planting your feet and coming back into those windshield wipers for a few more breaths. Really good. Now from here, we're going to do a double pigeon pose. So we're going to bring our right leg down to the ground, ideally having it in kind of a 90-degree angle from your hip, and then bringing your other foot up and over. And what might happen is that you come sitting here and you realize that your knee doesn't actually touch your foot. That's okay. Mine's not going to touch right now. Yours might not. There's no right or wrong. If you have a pillow or a blanket or something like that, you can put it in this space so it's a little bit more relaxing on your leg. And then all you're going to do from here is just lean a little bit forward. It doesn't have to be a big movement. It's not about getting super deep in the pose. It's about creating more space in the hips and finding more mobility. Really good. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1, and releasing out of that, coming back into those windshield wipers, left and right. All right, and then setting up for the same pose, but on the other side. So this time I have my left leg down on the mat, right leg is coming up and over, and you want your foot to be right sort of on your knee. And just coming up nice and straight, so both sit bones are nice and equally weighted on the mat. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to slowly fold. Again, you can place that blanket or whatever underneath your knee if it feels good. And breathing here. Breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back up. One more round of windshield wipers here. And then releasing out of that. And I just want to come into a quick Baddha Konasana, so butterfly pose, bottoms of the feet together, knees in towards your groin. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to fold slightly. And this isn't really a hip posture, but it kind of gets into the inner line of the legs, which is going to impact the hip mobility. And after all of that stretching, this is going to feel pretty nice. Breathing here. Three, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. And so from here, we're going to come into a pigeon pose, but we're going to do it a little bit differently than you may have done in classes before. So what I want you to do is to bring your right leg nice and lateral to the short edge of your mat. And then all I want you to do is bring your left leg back behind you. So you're kind of creating almost like a pinwheel. And so your right hip is planted firmly, your left hip's going to be up a little bit. We're going to square our torso off towards our hips and then fold forward a little bit until you feel the sensation in your hips. You might come down to your elbows, you might come all the way down, you might stay up on your hands or bend through your elbows. Find a place where you feel sensation but there's no pain. And then breathe deep. Nice long spine here. Breathing for 3, 2, 1 more breath. Slowly releasing out of it. Coming into windshield wipers once more. And then moving into the other side. So left leg is parallel with the long edge of your mat, coming into sort of that pinwheel position with your legs, squaring up your torso to your front leg, and then exhale to fold forward. And go into this side having no expectations for what it's going to be like. Just because it's the other leg and you did something on the other side doesn't mean that this side is going to be the same. It might be totally different, and that's actually pretty normal. So be observant about what's happening from side to side, and come into it without expectation or judgment. Take nice deep inhales and exhales here. for 3, 2, and 1. Last breath all together. Slowly coming back up. Doing one more set of windshield wipers from side to side. Really good. And then what we're going to do from here is we're going to do a half Gomukhasana. So extending your left leg out in front of you, step your right foot over, and then tuck it in, like bring it right across so it's kind of hooked around your leg. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to just slowly fold forward. You might feel this in the back side of your left leg. You might feel it in your outer right hip. There are a number of different places that you might feel the sensation here, just depending on the tightnesses in your body and how your body feels. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming up. Releasing your right leg out, giving your legs a little bit of a bounce. And then moving into the other side. So drawing your left leg up, stepping in across, kind of weaving it around so it's tucked right in closer on your leg. Take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to fold. Only folding as far as you can until you feel the sensations. Breathing here for 3, 2, 1. Inhale deeply. Exhale, slowly release, giving your legs a little bit of a bounce here. And then slowly making your way onto your back. As you get here, planting your feet down, bring your right leg up and over, hooking onto your knee. You might just stay here with a nice little hip opener. So if this feels good and you feel like, okay, this is my pose, I like this, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, lift your leg up and interlace your hands behind your left leg, coming into the full version of figure 4. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths, breathing nice and deep. In and out of your nose. Really good. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Plant your right leg down and bringing your left leg up and over. Once again, staying here for just a second, see how your hips feel, see how the pose feels in your body. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you draw your right leg in towards your chest and interlace your hands behind your leg. Breathing wherever you are. Inhale deeply. And exhale, slowly release. Drawing your knees in towards your chest, reaching to the inside edges of your legs, grabbing the outside knife edges of your feet, keeping your entire spine nice and long onto the mat, coming into a happy baby pose. Maybe rocking side to side here, taking deep inhales and exhales. And whenever you're ready, releasing down to the mat, coming into your final resting pose. So even though we've just had a short practice today, it's always nice to give yourself a couple of moments to rest and relax. So allow yourself to get nice and heavy here and allow yourself to enjoy just a little Shavasana. As always, thank you so much for practicing with me. Give this video a like, share it with your friends and family if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel to get all the updates. And I'll see you next week. Namaste.